Very good morning, children. Welcome back to Unit 3, the lesson Galileo in English. So yesterday, before this period, I have given one video class. I started as introductory part of the lesson. So let me read once again 2 paragraphs that I have explained. Once again, let us read. Children, as I go on reading, you also go on keeping the fingers. So let me start. It is common knowledge today that the earth is a planet revolving round the sun. But there was a time, not many centuries ago, when even the learned men believed that the earth was fixed in space, and the sun and all other heavenly bodies went round it. The man who first brought to light the facts about them was a great scientist and astronomer called Galileo Galilei. He was born in the year 1564 in the Italian town of Pisa. So this much we studied, children. In the second paragraph, in the year 1608, a man called Hans Lippershey, a native of Holland, invented the telescope, the instrument with which astronomers watch the skies. The telescope makes distant objects appear to be near and magnified several times over. So this much we studied, children. Have you understood? Then what do you mean by a telescope? Who invented first the telescope? So it is the first person who invented telescope is Hans Lippershey from Holland in 1608. By that, Galileo also got inspired and he also started getting interest in inventing the telescope. So what is a telescope, children? The telescope is the instrument to make the distant objects appear to be nearer, and it makes magnifying the objects several times over. You got it, children? And let's move to the third paragraph. Third para 1. So keep finger, children, as I go on reading further. Then only you can learn the words and learn to read. When Galileo heard about invention, he became greatly interested in it. So I said, no, when he heard about all this invention and observed this about telescope, Galileo also got inspired and he showed interest to find out something about the instrument. He had at this time begun to study astronomy, and he saw that the invention would be a wonderful aid to the astronomer. So what he thought? If he found this instrument, it would be helpful for the astronomy, to study the astronomy for others also. So he saw that invention would be a wonderful aid means help for the astronomers. Not only for studying the sky and the sky events, we can find many more and study many more from this instrument. Using this instrument, he set to work on making a telescope for himself, and very soon succeeded in making one which was better than the one Lippershey had made. So lastly, then what he made? He also prepared a very great telescope. What we are using now is the telescope was prepared by Galileo. It was better than the Lippershey made. Let's move to the fourth stanza. Galileo's telescope was the first that was ever turned towards the stars. So I said no, his telescope was the first that all people can see the stars towards the sky, because sky is a very big, but we cannot see the stars. Through naked eyes we can see only twinkling stars, very dots, like dots in a big sky. But through telescope we can see magnified several times, and they appear very near to us. So looking through it, he saw 100 times as many stars as he could see with his bare eyes. So looking through it, he saw what? 100 times many stars. Many stars he can see, bigger one. Through the telescope, he observed many stars were appearing very near also, and in their size also, so that we can study them properly. He looked at the Milky Way, the broad white band of light seen across the sky at night, and found that it contained millions and millions of faint stars. Millions of faint stars. So faint means we cannot see clearly, not good vision. It's not as having strength and intensity also. It's having a little strength, is called faint star. So he turned the telescope on the moon, and he saw filled him with amazement. So he wondered, looking towards the sky. Children, have you observed ever outside? Evening or at night time you go outside and look at the sky, you will be very amazed to see all the celestial bodies. You go to a river terrace on your house and observe the sky keenly. You will be wondered and happy, very pleased to see the celestial bodies. Okay, so he also turned the telescope on the moon, and he saw filled him with amazement. He got wonder. On the moon's surface, which seems so smooth, he saw high mountains and deep valleys like those on the earth. So he also observed on the moon. What were there? What he observed on the moon? There are also a smooth mountains. So how could be the mountains smooth, children? If we go and see the mountains outside, how they look? They look smooth and sharp. But if you go near to any mountains, are they like smooth? No, they are rocky. They are full rocky structures. But from the distance, they look smooth and high. So likewise, he also observed so many mountains on the moon and deep valleys like on the earth. On our earth also many deep valleys are there, high mountains are there. So likewise, he observed so many mountains and high valleys on the moon surface. Then, in the 5th stanza, greatly excited by these discoveries, Galileo carried his telescope to Venice and showed it to the learned men of the city. What he did? He wanted to show to someone. If you get excited, what you will do, children? You will call others also. You will tell others also about what you got excited. So he also did. The discoveries are like this. So he carried all this telescope with him and to the Venice and showed it to the people who are learned, educated people. The people of Venice crowded at his house to have a look at the looking tube. What is this looking tube, children? So this is like a tube which magnifies the object several times and can see clearly, nearly, which are distinct. So this is a looking tube. The people generally call it looking tube, but it is telescope. The people of Venice crowded at his house to have a look at the looking tube. So many people came near to his house to see the telescope and observe the sky. They took it to the top of high buildings and looked through it at the ships out in the sea. See, not only in the top of the house, they went towards the buildings and looked through the telescope to see sea also. They went towards ships and see the sea, how the ocean looks, water. Okay, they saw ships 50 miles away appearing to be only 15 miles off. See, how much wonderful, no? What the people said? They saw 50 miles away appearing ships only, how much? Only 15 miles off. 50 and 15. See the difference. When the ruler of Venice was shown the instrument, he was greatly pleased with the invention and appointed Galileo professor for life at the University of Padua. See, from this, people got so much interested towards Galileo person and his invention, and they pleased to see this invention, and also he was appointed as a professor for life at University of Padua. In the next stanza, the first telescope that Galileo made magnified objects 3 times their size. Later, he made one that magnified them 8 times. First he prepared was it how much times? The objects were looking 3 times bigger in their size. And after that, later he made another telescope to magnifying them 8 times bigger. So, but he went on working on larger and larger ones until he made a telescope which brought objects 30 times nearer. So first how much? 3 times. Then 8 times. Then 30 times nearer. See, very wonderful, no children? So read the lesson and try to understand. You can ask the doubts and questions. So let me complete this much today. We'll see in the next class. Have a nice day.